Hello everybody, welcome again one more time. This is Roman Just Codes, live coding after hours, Flutter edition. I am Roman, I am a Flutter GDE, and I'm here giving you access to my Flutter cave. That's what I'm calling it right now. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for tuning in one more week. This is episode number 7, can you believe it? We've been doing this for 7 weeks in a row. Thank you so much for everybody who joins. Again, I just want to appreciate everybody supporting this series of Flutter live coding events. Again, I'm Roman. I am a Flutter GDE. Really happy for everybody to join. Marcelo is already represented in the house. Thank you very much, Marcelo. Thank you so much for joining. I see other people trickling in. Make sure to tweet Flutter live coding throughout this session. And Marcelo, you could be a lucky winner of a Flutter t-shirt at the end of this session. So stay tuned, buddy, and start tweeting Flutter live coding with the hashtag Flutter live coding so that you could get a cool Flutter t-shirt right after the session. So I just wanted to say, I've been building for the past 7 weeks. You might be wondering, you may have stumbled upon this stream, and you're wondering, what's that guy doing just blabbering right there? Well, I've been building this game, this casual game in Flutter from scratch, from the first Flutter Create project. And I'm gonna finish it all the way until I publish it to the App Store and I publish it to the Google Play Store. So no gimmicks here, no pre-recorded stuff. No, today is September 21st. This is not pre-recorded. This is right now happening live, and you're gonna see me code live at the same time. So I really appreciate everybody joining. Just wanted to make sure that everybody's there supporting. A lot of people. Damien, how you doing, buddy? Yes, you could be my mentee. All you gotta do is just behave, man. Just be a nice boy tonight. All right? No, just messing with you, man. Thank you so much for joining. You're amazing. Your skills in Flutter are definitely showing through. So keep on in your Flutter journey, buddy. Keep it doing that. Randall, GDE in the house, the OG. So thank you, Randall, for showing up one more time. I know a few folks were falling asleep last time, so I'm gonna try to keep it a little bit lighter today, because some of you may have been past your bedtime. So this is, again, remember, that's why I'm calling it live coding after hours, because this is the time where I'm doing my coding. I'm just opening up the camera so that you can see me building applications. So pretty much that's what I'm gonna be doing for the next hour and a half, maybe a little shorter. Maybe we can cut it short a little tonight. Just wanted to make sure that everybody is well, sharp, giving me suggestions as always. Always, keep an eye on the things that I'm doing. Provide any suggestions. I'm definitely welcome to those. At the end of this session, I'm gonna bring this screen one more time. Make sure to tweet with the hashtag Flutter live coding. You're gonna get a Flutter t-shirt at the end. We're gonna run a raffle, and you can win a Flutter t-shirt just like this one at the end. So start tweeting those fingers away. Start tweeting with the hashtag Flutter live coding. I'm gonna run a raffle at the end of the session, and that's it. That's all you need. Just for being cool, just as a token of my appreciation for you joining these sessions and just letting me, do my thing right here, man. And you guys are noticing I'm using the iPhone 14 emulator already. So hey, I've been keeping up to speed on things out there. So thank you so much, Randall. Yeah, long time no see, Randall. That's right. Great. So let's start right away, because I know you guys are, really looking into what the hell Roman left it last time. I know if you guys joined just now, I'm just gonna recap one more time. This is an application. It's a casual game built completely in Flutter. I should also even run the Android emulator. But anyway, this is gonna be deployed for both Android and iOS. This application I've been using explicit animations. I've been using state management using Provider. I've been using a clean and simple architecture, doing really cool widget composition, making sure that I split my widgets appropriately, doing proper inter-widget communication. Yeah, some of the logic may be questionable in certain aspects, but here I am to learn from you, so you can learn from me. You can pick up a thing or two. And we're gonna start this session by doing some refactoring on some of the things that we did last time. But basically, this is a simple application that will allow a little frog character to jump across a pond, and then at the end, if you complete it in the fastest amount of time while collecting points, then you win. We're gonna integrate Firebase later on. We're gonna publish it to the store, like I mentioned. So we're gonna do a lot of cool things. So let's start right away. Start dropping the tweets. Make sure to tweet Flutter live coding. At the end of the session, I'm gonna run a raffle so you can get a cool Flutter t-shirt like this. Everybody that I've shipped it to so far have received it. Sirhan, my man, how you doing, buddy? Love the t-shirt. Thank you. Love the t-shirt. Stay tuned because you might get a Flutter t-shirt. Start tweeting. Who else is in the house? Arancel, how you doing, buddy? Always. Wow, he says pre-hello world. Yeah. Hello world, buddy. That's it. Let's start. So last time, remember, we were, I'm going to run the application one more time. I think it even closed all of these because we don't need that. So last time, let me just rerun the application one more time. Remember, I have a very simple folder structure architecture. I'm doing like some simple animations in it. We are running this application. So when I swipe, you know, I gotta reload the application completely, and then you will see. So remember, you have to swipe in the correct direction, in the direction of the leaves, and then that triggers a character to jump. So tonight, I'm gonna be doing a little bit of refactoring. Some of the things that I did earlier, because I think I wanted to do it in a much cleaner way. So if you see, I'm swiping, and then it's collecting the bugs as I make progress. So if you want to watch, if you want to catch up, you can check out the previous 6 episodes. You know, you're in for a binge if you do that. Oh, before I start, did you guys check out, before I even do this, did you guys see my new background? This is amazing. This is something that I had done. Again, this is like a projector light, and then I switch it. Sometimes it's either my logo or the cloud logo. So I did that myself. And now you get like the Dart character with the Flutter logo in it. I did that myself, and then I had it made as a projector. So just like as a nice decoration to the background. So pretty cool. If you want to ask me how I did that, ping me. I'll definitely share my tricks in there. So let me just fix this thing right here, making sure that you get the code with my face in it. So once I do this now, let me see. I hope you guys can see it right now. Hope you guys can see me. Perfect. There you go. That's it. I was just trying to fix the screen right there. Awesome. So now let's continue the code. Let's make sure that we do the refactoring that we wanted to do. So you remember last time I was trying to get like this thing refactored in here because it looks like really messy. When I swipe all the way down, I'm not getting the correct indexes. It was because I just left it the way it was. For example, you see it says checkpoint number 1. I want to make sure that I know when is the correct checkpoint. Some of you were giving me great ideas. That's why I'm gonna completely redo this because this is not coming out the way that I wanted. It's a little buggy, so let me show you. So what I wanted to keep in here was what is the index of the corresponding breakpoint. So you see it's still giving me number 1. It's because of this calculation right here. Like I did it wrong. I just copy pasted it. So don't copy paste without you knowing what you're copy pasting. I know some of you grab code from Stack Overflow and just paste it in your code. Try not to do that. So let's just, I'm gonna redo these 2 pieces right here because I didn't want to do it like that. Pretty much just like this. So when I determine when is a checkpoint, what I really want to do is I want to determine when a checkpoint is. A checkpoint will be when it's in the easy mode, I'm going to have 100 rows. When it's in the hard mode, I have 200 rows. So seriously, what I really wanted to do initially was pretty much this. So check this out. So I'm going to create a variable called like this checkpoint right there locally. I just need to have it like right there. And then I'm going to say if and Sirhan, you gave me an idea last time, and then that's what I was thinking about this. Like, because Sirhan immediately caught that issue. So rows is, remember, the last row. It's either 100 or 200. The first one is 0. So I don't want to display it in the first one, but I don't want to display the checkpoint, the lines of row of flowers at the end either. Only in the ones in the middle. So that's why I think it was your idea to say, you want to make sure that you're less than the length. But I wanted to keep it really simple. So I think I wanted to do this that time. Like I want to say, if I'm not the first one, I'm gonna say that it's a checkpoint if it's not the first one and not the last one, but anywhere in between. So I'm gonna say something like this. So if it's not equals to 0, that's what I was thinking over the whole week. I was like, okay, I'll make sure to do it next week. So if it's not the first one, right? And I don't have to say that if it's not less than rows, because it's gonna be still less than that. So it's not gonna reach like all the way. So all I'm gonna say is just if it's not the first one, and then I want to say and the rows, I want to say and is, for example, a multiple of 10. If it's 200, it's going to be either 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, and 120, and so on. If it's the 100, it's going to be 10, 20, 30. So it has to be a multiple of 10, and I need to make sure that that's what it is. So I'm going to say if I, and then I say rows divided by 10, and then equals to 0. That is what will determine whether this is a checkpoint, regardless of whether I'm in an easy mode or the hard mode. So we're doing just very basic math, but I failed last time. I'm like, wait, I'm talking, but coding, I need to make sure to focus on the logic. So I just wanted to say, I'm in a checkpoint. Now I'm just gonna say, am I in a checkpoint? That's it, just show me the flag. This is the logic that I wanna say. If it's the first one, and if it's a multiple of 10, regardless of whether I'm in the easy or the hard mode. And then the value, I don't know if you guys have done this, but check this out. If I say checkpoint value, now I'm gonna calculate if it's the 10th, the 20th, the 30th. I saw this in Dart before, but I don't know if you guys have implemented it. I did this. So I say, if it's a checkpoint, then I want to calculate a value, the current value, by a multiple of 10, but then I wanted to convert it to an integer, so I wanted to do it like this. I was doing this. I divided by 10, and then this will give me, for example, like if it's a checkpoint, then I know that it's the 10th, or it's the 20th, or it's the 30th. So I divide it by 10, and then I say, okay, this is the first, is number 1, or number 2, or number 3. So I just wanted to show the number corresponding to that checkpoint. Otherwise, I'm just gonna say negative 1, for example, something like that. But check this out. I divided by 10 is gonna give me like a double, it's not gonna be an integer. So the way that I found out, I don't know if you guys have seen this, if you do this, like that little thing, it just does the truncating division operator. I've never seen that in Dart, so I just saw it the other day. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. Instead of doing this, instead of doing I divided by 10 and then dot to int, because that's what I was doing, I'm like, no, let me not do that. Let me use that weird operator. So now that I do this, now this is much cleaner and more straightforward. Now you will see every time I swipe and I reach the 10th, the 20th, the 30th, the 40th, and so on, I should be able to show the correct checkpoint. That's what I was not doing the other day, because it was like so stupid. So now when I do this and I swipe, I'm swiping, I'm still not at a checkpoint, not a checkpoint yet, I'm almost there, and I got to a checkpoint number 1. Perfect. Now let me see checkpoint number 2. So I was going up, I continue swiping, I should get to checkpoint number 2. So that should say, this is row number 20. So when I divide it by 10, there it is. So it's number 2, and so on and so forth. So that's what I wanted to do last time, that I wasn't paying attention to what you guys were saying. Thank you so much for your feedback. This is exactly how we want to do things together and build really cool stuff together. So yeah, Damien, I hadn't used it before. So kudos to you, buddy. I hadn't used this truncated division. This is pretty cool. I was doing it the hard way. I was saying I minus 10 to integer, whatever. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to cover last time. Thank you guys for spotting that issue. Sirhan, my man, you're a god. Thank you so much for spotting that and giving me some suggestions. So great. Let's continue. Another thing that I wanted to refactor was something that I told you with animations last time. So here in Pages, in the landing page, you remember that I was telling you, you need to know how many, for example, like in the animation, let me reload it one more time. In the landing page, which is this one, you see the little buttons just like sliding up. So they slide up because I know exactly how many buttons are there. There are 3 buttons. And then those 3 buttons, I want to split the value between 0 and 1 among those 3. But I don't want to hard code the value. I want to be able to build like a staggered animation appropriately so that I actually could do it for any amount of buttons. Right now, if you notice here in the landing, I'm actually hard coding 0.33, but I don't want it like that. Remember I told you last time, let's just do it like this real quick, but I really want to do it the right way. The right way to do it is truly just knowing how many items are there in your collection of buttons, and then you do a calculation based on, between 0 and 1 so that you can split the values accordingly. This is something simple. It's just that I told you, oh, let's do it real quick because I wanted to finish the rest of the episode quicker, but no. Let's not rush it. Let's truly do things the right way. Definitely listen to the community because you guys have great input and great feedback. So let's do it the right way. So what I mentioned last time that I wanted to do is I want to generate a row of buttons. I want to create an animation per button. So I want to know, for example, if I have a couple of buttons, in this particular case, can you guys see it? Yeah, I use it with complex. There you go. Of course, that's pretty good. So that's what I'm saying. Like I'm using a lot of really cool things right now. I'm learning a lot by building a bunch of applications. So that is the way to do it. Like you build stuff, you expose yourself to those things, and that's how you gain the knowledge. So truly appreciate everybody with their suggestions. So what I said last time that I didn't do it, that I forgot to add it here, was I wanted to know how many buttons are there. So I said, first of all, I want to know how many buttons. So the first thing is, I'm going to say, for example, like interval. And then the interval I want to say is, remember, I said it's a value between 0 and 1 that actually allows you to perform the animation between those two values. Every time you do like a transition animation, you see a fade transition is always between 0 and 1. So what I want to do is interpolate those values, or actually extrapolate those values. So I want to say, in this particular case, I want to say 1 divided by buttons.length, which in this particular case, if I have 3, is going to give me 0.33. If I have 2, it's going to give me 0.5, and so on. So later, you're going to see why I'm doing it like this is because I'm going to implement this somewhere else in a more efficient way. So now I know that my interval, for example, like if I sometimes I do this. I don't know if you guys do it. I pull calculator. And check this out. This is exactly what I want to prove, why I want to do it like this. So it's a value between 0 and 1. So you have 1, and when you divide it by 3, which is that is the value that I wanted, that I hard-coded last time because I already knew, but I didn't want to hard-code it. I want to generate it dynamically. When I have 2 buttons later, I'm going to do 1 divided by the number of buttons is 0.5, and then that way we'll split that animation range of values between those 2 buttons from 0 to 0.5 and from 0 to 0.5 to 1. In this particular case, we have 3 buttons, and all I'm going to do is just do this. So instead of this calculation, I want the first button to start at 0 and the next one to start at 0.33. Then the next value to start at 0.33 and end up at 0.66. Then the next one start at 0.66 and then it at 0.999, like that. So it is doing it, but I want to do it more, much cleaner, much simpler. So that's exactly, and more streamlined. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So all I needed to do last time was this. So I need to say index times interval. That is the first value. So I'm going to say index times interval. If it's the first one, it's going to be 0. But then I want it to end at 0.33. So all I need to say is really simple. It's just index plus 1 times interval. Because I'm just going to be like using the same interval value between those two. Like 0.33. 0.33 to 0.66. 0.66 to 1. Or to 0.99 pretty much. And now when I just copy that, see, I don't have to have anything hard-coded, which I didn't want last time, but I still went for it. I'm like, yeah, let's finish this. Now, let's do the things the right way. So that's what I wanted to show. When you're doing transitions and you want to do it a little bit staggered, Damien, you mentioned this last time. And sorry I didn't pay attention to you. I was like, yeah, you're right. But then I was like, yeah, let's continue. No, you were saying it the right way. So this is the right way to go about it. So again, I love the fact that you guys are providing me with really good input. And that's exactly what you should be doing. Listen to the community. And there it is. Look, it looks much better now and more like seamless. So now you see the animations flowing much better. There you go. That's exactly what I wanted. So that type of behavior is what I wanted in that transition. So let's continue. Another thing that I wanted to do last time that I didn't do was like the animations in here were like a little blunt. When I wanted to do show, you see how like wacky just shows like popping in. So let's add an animation to those messages. So I want to make sure that whenever I either do like an animation on one of those dialogues or one of those messages, I want them to kind of like slide right in, scale right in, and do like a little bit of a bouncing. So it's pretty easy to do. See, like this one always like also like pops in. How do I make it in a more efficient way so that those messages show consistently without having to do it all over to all of them? So, well, the way to do it is I'm going to handle that. And if you guys saw the previous video, I created this widget called Frog Messages Panel. And then the Frog Messages Panel, all it does is just checks whether you're showing a simple message or a splash message or just none. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap whatever this message returns, and I'm going to wrap it inside an animation. And then that animation will either be, we'll wrap one of those widgets and it will always show consistently doing like that scale animation and like a little bit of fading animation with a little bit of a bounce. So that's exactly what I want to do. Let me show you how I would have approached that particular case. So in the frog message panel, same thing that I mentioned before. Let me actually clean up a few things in here as well. So I'm gonna, I hate like these lines right here and like those packages that I don't use at all. So you could just do, you know, let me just hide this thing right here, and you could do like remove all unused imports. I like to like clean stuff as I go, but always try to fall into that you know, mindset of refactoring. Make it work like we did last time, but not like me, like I was doing it. Make sure that you know, get it to work, and then you refactor later when you see the opportunity. In this particular case, I want to take the chance and do it now. So this is a stateless widget, and let me show you again what it looks like. So that's what it looks like. It just pops in. Let's change that so that it actually does a cool animation, a simpler animation, but an animation nonetheless. So let me just turn this into a stateful widget as always. You always know how I'm gonna go about it. So I either create like a, for example, I already have like the consumer in here. That's all I need. But see, it already creates my state widget and all of that. So it created a stateful widget. All I need to do is just create an animation. That's all I need. So I'm gonna go a little bit quicker in this because you've already seen it. Remember, I always create an animation controller. I'm gonna call it message controller, something like that. I usually like to do it like this. You always see me override the init state. Sorry, there, I think I almost did it. Init state, and then there it is, right? And I also do the override, and then I do the void dispose, because I like to dispose of those controllers and whatnot. So I'm gonna keep it really simple. I'm just gonna do super.init state. I initialize my state, and then I'm going to initialize my controller. The message controller is gonna be an animation controller. Animation controller. Sorry about that. Simple as that. And then of course I need to, since I'm gonna have only one single controller in this widget, remember to always do the single ticker provider state mix. And some of you might think like the single ticker provider or the ticker provider work the same. Single is only when you have one single controller in your stateful widget. Ticker provider is when you have more than one. And they recommend if you have one, just use the single ticker provider. Don't just be like, let me use the ticker, because it's still gonna work. The single is actually more efficient, and they even say it in the documentation. So you see that it says right here, the mix and only suppose, blah, blah, blah. I think they mention it somewhere. I think it's in the Flutter documentation. They say that the single ticker provider state mixin is more efficient than a ticker provider state mixin. So use it when you have only one. Don't try to overdo it. So just do a single if you only have one. Do ticker if you have more, but then that's it. Don't do a ticker when you only have one. So that's it. Execute all quick fixes. I want that one. Randall, send me that plugin. So I want to do that. Exactly. Perfect. So perfect. I'm just gonna do vsync this, of course. This is just creating me the controller. I don't have to go too much into details about this. So I'm just gonna make this like half a second, for example. I'm gonna say const duration second. I'm sorry, I say milliseconds, not microseconds, but milliseconds, and I'm gonna do 500. So 500 milliseconds on that controller. I will execute it as soon as it comes in. So, but when it, of course, I need to dispose it. Of course, message controller.dispose. I try not to forget this because I've been bitten in the behind just because I haven't like cleaned up a controller and I just let it run for a lot. I even see the emulator like crashing on me sometimes. So make sure to always dispose your controllers. That's all I keep saying. Now, all you need to do is just that controller, you're gonna wrap it inside a transition, but then you're gonna execute it when it rebuilds. This widget will always rebuild. There's a new message, it will rebuild because it has a consumer widget. Remember that. The consumer widget always rebuilds when it gets a notification. In this particular case, when it gets a notification from the Frog Messages service, it just will rebuild. It will always rebuild. So I wanna just keep that there and see what I'm gonna do. So the messages, every message that shows up is one of these guys. It's either the splash message or the simple message when you're like, when you want to show any simple message. So instead of me adding the animations inside of each one of those, I am going to just wrap the returning object. Simple as that. So what are we gonna start with? We're gonna start with a scale animation. I see Damien says, is there any lint for never forget this post controller? I thought there is. I thought there was. Yes. See, the Randall mentioned it. There's one thing that you can do like in your lint of Visual Studio to like make sure to always like do kind of those things, because you definitely don't want to miss it. So Randall is correct. So you can do that. Like you do it in the linting. Have you guys used like Sonar Cube? I think there's even like a Sonar Cube that does like code smells, and there's like a Dart analyzer. I think there's one that actually works in the local environment, and you can just run it for lint, just go like lint issues and whatnot. So you can do that. So I'm gonna go just like I always go. I'll do like a wrap it inside a widget. This one is gonna be a scale animation, because what do I want to do? I want to what did I do? Scale transition, sorry. Scale transitions. Okay, there it is. So the scale transition has the scale, remember? And all I want to do is just grab the little thing, and I'm just going to scale it from 80% to like 100%. So always remember the scale is a double. So you have to say tween double. It will begin at 0.8. Remember, it's always a value between 0 and 1. So I'm going to do 0.8 and end at 1.0. So just like that. And just do the animation. Always, I'm like a curved animation fan. So I always do the, message controller and the curve. My favorite, ease in and out. Or actually, no. I said that I want to do something much cooler than the ease in and out. I want to do it like a bouncing. So I want to do like a bouncing type of animation. Like there's one called like I think there's one like bounce in and out also. See, like this one. Bounce in and out. Let's do like the bounce. I'll do the bounce out for now. Let's try that. So check this out. It will scale in that type of, using that type of transition. So let me reload it. Let me reload the whole thing. Let's see what this will look like. And then after that, we'll do like a fade. So that's pretty much what we'll do. So every time now you see the message, it's still coming up. I need to of course save the whole thing and reload. And I need to execute the animation because it's not executing. So you need to say message controller dot forward. Sorry, not fling, but forward. Because forward, it will just execute the animation from 0 to 1, just in one direction. And then now when I reload it, you will see that thing like bouncing a little bit. So it's just a scale transition with a scale from 80% to 100%. So when I do a swipe, you may have seen it. I don't know why it's just like that, like it's popping up. I want to show it so that you can see it like with the transition. So let me add the transition, for example, like let me add the transition of the fading so you can see the whole thing now, because I think putting it all together you will definitely see it. So let me make sure that the frog message panel, as you can see it, is right inside the consumer. We are executing right there. We're saying message.forward right here before we even return it, and then that's it. It should execute. So now also the scale transition, it will scale, but now what I want to do is wrap it inside a fade transition. So I not only want it to scale, but I also want it to fade. So, and the fading is the same thing. Remember, we use opacity, we do tween, double, and then I want it to start at 0, like completely invisible, and end at 1. So it's gonna fade from 0 to 1. It's just gonna pop up. It's gonna do a little bouncing, and then there you go. So check this out. So I'm gonna do animate. I'm sorry. Where am I? So here we go. I did a comma. I should do a dot animate. Same thing. Curved animation. The parent will be the same guy. Message controller. And the curve will be, I can do, for example, like in this particular one, I wanted to animate smoothly, but I could also make it, match the bounce out, the type of, animation. So I'll do bounce out, something like this. And I need to put my commas in there. Very good. So you see, I wanted to do the animation at that level as opposed to inside of each separate widget. Yeah, Twin Animation Builder, it's pretty good. I like this one because it's pretty simple. You could do more crazier animations than this one. Me, this is just doing like simple stuff. But definitely, much power to you, Damien. I would love to see the stuff that you've been doing. I also saw that you were in one of the code camps for the Flutter. I think it's Flutter Dev Camp London. I think I saw you somewhere there. So hey, good luck to you, buddy, on your journey there. So very good stuff. So there you go. So now what I want to do is before I even start, then I want to reset it because I know that initially it just went forward. So I need to make sure that I stop it, like kind of reset it and restart it. That's what I want to do. So every time I do it, I do forward and it stays at the end. I want to, every time I rebuild the message, I want to reset it. Remember I had that same issue with the frog, like it was like acting up weird. So let's try it now. So check this out. So now it comes in, I'm going to my thing, and then now when I swipe, there we do, that's what I wanted. You see? And then it resets, it just goes away. When I do it again, I have to reset it and restart it. Because if I only do forward, it will do it once and it will just stay at the end. Because remember, we're reusing that controller. That controller is part of the memory of that state management, the state of that widget, and then it just get persistent between rebuilds. So see, it looks much better. So I'm going to just do this, and I kind of like that. It's very subtle. I don't have to go too crazy. But yeah, if you want to do something much cooler than this, there's so many other cool animations to add. Now you will see this one. It will always pop. It will also pop in. There you go. That's exactly what I wanted. And then it just goes away. So something like that. Pretty simple, very straightforward. And if I continue, I got this. Perfect. Now let's proceed with the other part of the widget that I want to do. Remember that whenever we lose, we're still deducting the lives, but look, it says -1. At this point, I don't want it to keep deducting. I want to know when this widget has like completely, when this game is lost, like you've already exhausted all your lives. I want to show that losing page, like the page that says like, oh, you're done, you lost, start the game, restart the game. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna implement some of the gaming logic that will perform the like the deduction of the lives, but also is going to show me the proper message. When I'm truly done, I need to reset the whole game, bring them back to the losing page, and then either take them to the home page or just restart the game as if from scratch. Again, 3 lives, 0 score, no time, and all of that. So let's do that. So let's reset all of that. Oh yeah, I see you're looking for a mentor. You're definitely gonna find a lot of mentors in there. I think Randall, are you there in the Flutter dev camp for GDG London? You know, with Renuka, Simon, and all those guys. You know, you're an amazing GDE. You could be a great mentor as well. Great. Let's continue with some of the refactoring that we've been doing. But I think I want to do like a couple of cleanups. Remember last time we had the services and the swiping gesture service. The swiping gesture service, I just showed you last time how I can just very simple, when I know that the swiping is incorrect, like I swipe in the wrong direction. When I swipe in the wrong direction, the way that we're doing here is just saying, okay, if it's the wrong one, so just decrement the lives. That's exactly what this is doing. So what I really want to do is tell the game, dude, are you done with the game? If you lost, you lost. But if you deducted the life, okay, you can deduct the life. But once you've exhausted the lives, then you should say, no, game over. Let me take you out of this game. Because you want to, be true to the game and make sure that, they've exhausted their lives. They gotta go. They gotta start all over again. So let's do that. Cool. So let me now do a little bit of refactoring that I wanted to do in this particular service, because I really wanted to truly kind of like be honored, honor that piece and not hard code. Well, not hard code, but actually do a lot of managing all over the place. I want to keep it all centralized, and I wanted to make sure that the game service is the one that actually performs that type of deduction, deducting of the lives, checking if the game is over. So I'm gonna stub out a couple of methods that I know that I'm gonna have in my game service. So check this out. I'm gonna start with the game service, right? So I'm gonna go to the game service. The game service should be the know-it-all, but it should also even trigger other services, query other services throughout the, let me remove this one because I don't think I need it. So let's just do a little bit of refactoring here in the game, because I want to have the game service be actually the one that manages a lot of things, initializing things, resetting things, let's say, checking whether the game is over, checking for things, querying things throughout the game. So let's do that. First thing that I'm gonna do, first thing that I wanna do is take this out, because this, I know that I'm gonna be using it in multiple places. I'm gonna be using this whether I'm gonna reset the game or at the beginning of the game. So this is something that I don't wanna duplicate. So all of these things, all these initializations that I'm doing, I wanna do it in one separate method that I can just call later multiple times. So I'm gonna just refactor this. I'm gonna call it, bear with me. And again, I suck at naming, so I'm gonna call it reset game from the beginning. I know that, again, my naming conventions might be a little questionable, but I'm gonna call it reset game from the beginning, right? And then in this method, all I'm gonna do is just that. So but you see now the context, I need the context. I need the build context so I can initialize things, I can query things. So I'm going to hold a reference to the root context that is coming inside of the game service, because all my services are provided by the state management provider. So I know that I'm gonna be able to have that context. So I'm gonna do this here, for example, check this out. So I'm going to have a reference to the build context coming in, for example. I'm only gonna use it to query other services. Don't use it for anything else to do like crazy things and keep a reference to this. This is only for doing the querying of other services inside of this service. So check this out. So I'm just gonna call it like context, or, like this, CTX, for example, something like that, right? I'm gonna inject my context in here, and I'm gonna say CTX equals context, right? So I'm injecting the context because I'm gonna use it in other places. When I reset the game from the beginning, of course, I need to use that reference of the, CTX, because I'm gonna be querying some other services in here and whatnot. So I only get one reference of the context, and then I'll use that context to query other services inside of this guy. So I'm also going to be needing other references to other services because I want to reset them at the same time. So check this out. I want to keep, let's say, services, to query, for example. So I'm going to create a reference to the frog jumping service, because from here I want to make sure that I can reset the frog jumping service. So I'm just going to call it that frog jumping service. I'm gonna need a reference to the swiping. I know that I'm gonna do the swiping gesture, so I'm gonna do swiping gesture service. I'm gonna need a reference to and then I'm gonna do it like this, and then you'll see I'll do refactoring. Remember, we'll always make it work, then we refactor. So let's continue. I'm gonna add, for example, like the score panel service, the one that manages the score up there. So I'll call it score panel service. Last but not least, I'm gonna do the leave service. I'm gonna say leave service. I'll just call it that. In other places, I know that I'm gonna be doing like more resetting of this, right? So I'm gonna like right here, I'm doing like the frog jumping service. So I don't need to use this. All I need to do is just that. Use the frog, and let me just refactor this one. There you go, you see? So I don't need to be pulling it all the time. Every time I call something, I'm gonna keep a light reference to it, and then I can invoke messages on it. So something like that. You remember also the spot where I was doing like, yes, Sirhan, that is, I think I have that message, like the premature optimization is the root of all evil. Yeah, that's the one. Like they have one saying like premature refactoring is the root of all evil. Yes, I've seen that a lot, so thank you for bringing it up. I should maybe make it into a t-shirt and raffle it. Which reminds me, make sure to tweet Flutter Live Coding at the end of the session. I am going to be raffling one Flutter t-shirt, so stay tuned all the way at the end. I am going to be raffling a Flutter t-shirt. Just tweet with the hashtag Flutter Live Coding. I'm going to be raffling a Flutter t-shirt at the end of the session. So let's continue. So there was something questionable that I was doing last time, although it wasn't bad. But in my game page, I didn't want to do this. In the game page, I was doing this. I was starting the start time in the score panel from the game service, from the game page. No, I really want to do it from the game page, but I'm going to do it there in a minute, but I need to find the right spot where I'm going to do it. So I can trigger it from here. So I want the game service to be kind of like the broker, or the one that performs like a proxy between other services. You don't want to have your services injected all over the place. You can have one service that kind of manages and administers all the other ones and does like more managing of the other services. All those services are going to trigger notifications, and widgets are going to rebuild according to that, but you don't want to have your services all over the place. So instead of doing this here, I am going to do it when I begin the game, but I can actually say here game. I can do game service, and then I'm going to say game service, and then I'm going to do, for example, here provider.off game service, right? Context, listen false, and then here I'm going to have a method called start game. I like this better. I don't have this method yet, But I was thinking about this because I definitely need to promote, again, like I said, more encapsulation of the business logic. You want to do like a centralized location where you do these things, and then other services only focus on what they do good. Rebuild their corresponding widgets. The game service is nothing more than a broker, a proxy to the other services. So you can just do better organization of your code. So I'm gonna go to the game page, right? The game service, I'm sorry. And I'm going to do the initialization of the, for example, like here in the reset from the beginning, I can inject the service. So I can do, what was the one that I'm doing? That is the score panel service. There you go. Score panel service. I'm gonna say provider.off score panel service. And then I use the context, right? Listen equals false. I don't start it yet, but I am going to create a method here called start game that then I'm going to refer to this method, and I'm gonna say start time. There it is, when the other things that relate to starting the game are gonna happen in that method. So that is what I wanted to show you last time, that I didn't have much time, but here I want to start like more clean stuff, right? So I want to do it here. Also, other services that I want to restart. Remember, I need the leave service. Do I have the leave service here? No, I need to also start it. So here I'm going to initialize all the other services as well. So for example, I'm going to do, actually, even only when I initialize the game, I may need those. So you see, I'm even thinking I don't actually need these ones initialized here at this point. I can do it even before resetting these guys. So for example, the frog jumping service, all the initialization, I can do it here in another method. I'll say init services, and then I am going to create a separate method called init services. I don't need to initialize it every time I reset the game. So I say initialize services, and then I can do this frog jumping service, the score panel service. I know that I'm going a little bit quicker today, but it's because, again, I like all those ideas are coming to my head right now, and I just wanted to make sure that I capture like those things for you, so that you can see how you organize your code, how you refactor your code, so that you can actually do like better organization, better managing of your services. So I'm missing the swiping gesture service, so I need to do that right here, and then I just do swiping gesture services, and then I do something like this, swiping gesture service. Perfect. There you go. Now this is much better. Only at the beginning I initialize the services, but this method I can reset it any other time. So I start the position, I do all that, I start time. Perfect. I know that I'm gonna need other methods. For example, because this is the game services, I'm gonna stub out a couple of methods. For example, I'm gonna do one, for example, like a Boolean, like is game over. I'm gonna need a method to do that. I'm gonna need a method to say like, go to losing panel. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna do that later. I can do, for example, like, remember, I need to do something to reset the game. If you lose, then I want to reset the game. I'm gonna say return false for now. So I'm gonna stop this out because I'm gonna do like other methods in here. Restart game. I want to query, for example, like. Let's say another method called like is game over, and then I'll return true for now, for example. So you see, I'm stubbing out like all of these methods. I say is game over is one. I already did it. Sorry, I wanted to do what was it? I wanted to do reduce lives. I want to do it on behalf of the other one. I want to do reduce lives, increment lives. I could do that. So for example, or I could just call it exactly what it's called. Decrement lives. And then I want to use which one? The score panel. The one that's called decrement lives. There you go. You see, I want to do it on behalf of that service. That way, only one service could be injected in my widgets, and then that performs, it's kind of like a wrapper or like a facade. I'm using kind of like the facade pattern a little bit here. So if I do here increment lives, then I'm going to use the score panel service and say increment lives. There you go. You see, so I'm building my API more, again, encapsulated, much more cleaner. And then that way I can just do, again, like better organization, better management of my services. So pretty much that's what I want to do. So now let's go with this bit of refactoring. The game page, I'm going to have to come back in here. Well, actually, I did this. This is pretty good. So let me go back to the swiping gesture service where instead I'm going to refactor what I'm doing. Remember what I'm doing here? I'm doing here like, oh, okay. So if I'm swiping in the correct direction, I'm swiping in the correct direction, good. If not, I am actually going to call that decrement lives in the game service. Remember, the game service has already that method that is kind of like wrapping the score panel service. So that's exactly what I want to do. So I want to be able to kind of create like a wrapper around that, right? So instead of me saying decrement lives, I am going to use the game service and I'm going to say decrement lives. Am I injecting it up here? Yes, I am. Aren't I? Oh, the game service is up here. So instead, I mean, I can inject it. But it's still within the on swipe. So there it is. I can say decrement the lives. But when you decrement the lives, you want to check whether the game is over before you can then set a message or something like that. That is also something that I can do through the game service. I can keep it like this for now, but I want to check this. I decrement the lives and always check where the game is over. If the game is over, I'm going to have to redirect the user somewhere else, right? That's exactly what I want to do. So after I decrement the lives, when I swipe the wrong way, I want to do this. If game service is game over, yeah. If it's game over, here we're going to say redirect to the losing page. Else, what do we want to do? Do we want to show a message? Do we want to go to the losing panel or something? Here, we could just show the message. So instead, we're going to do this. We're going to set the message of the, we want to say show the losing panel like this. So every time I swipe, I'm going to say, if I swipe correct, if I swipe wrong, decrement the life, show the message, right? If not, I check whether the game is over, and then I'm going to redirect my users to another page. We're going to get to that in a minute. I'm going to print it out. I'm going to say print, go to the losing page. Check this out. So of course you're going to see the lives decrementing, but you're going to see print, go to the losing page right here. So let me reload it. We're going to swipe 3 times. When the game over, you're going to check whether you don't have any lives. So for example, I don't have the logic in here yet. So what I can say is, if I'm going to go to, of course, I'm going to use the game service to query other services. So I'm going to query I'm going to say, the game is over if you don't have any lives. So I'm going to say return score panel service lives equals 0. Simple as that. If my lives are 0, game is over. I'm done with my lives. So let me save it because I didn't have the logic. Now let's do it. So if I reload, good catch. I don't know if anybody caught that, but I just wanted to make sure everybody gets it. So now check this out. I'm going to swipe 3 times the wrong way. 1, 2, 2. And then now when I do this, I don't show the message. The is 0, and look what it says. Go to the losing page. It will go to 0. But instead of me showing the splash message, I'm going to redirect my users to a completely separate page. That will be the losing page. And then at that point, then I'm going to reset the game and all of that. So let's do that. Remember that I said one message called, I said go to the losing page, right? So I'm going to say here, game service, go to losing page, not pane. I'm going to have to refactor this thing right here. So I'm going to say, rename symbol, go to losing page, like that. Also, what I want to do is make sure, why did it didn't work? Let me do it again. Rename symbol, go to losing page, enter. There we go, got it. Also, I want to reset the messages because I know that let me move this up because I want to reset the messages. I don't want them to be set in the splash. So I want to hide the messages as we go to the losing page. So I'm going to cut this out. I'm gonna keep it up here because I want to display a message. So display the message, decrease the lives, reset the message. So I'm gonna say frog message in service, set message to frog messages.none. Make sure that I don't want any messages. Let's block the message panel and then get out of here, go to another page. So instead of me going to another page, pretty much that's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to leverage remember the utils current navigation that I built? So I'm going to then perform a navigation to that page. So to a page that I'm going to set right now. So I'm gonna create that method called like go to losing page, and then that page will be that one, the new page that I'm gonna be creating, which is gonna be like the losing page. So let's build that page right now. So it's gonna look very similar to this one, to the landing page, the one that is this one right here. It's gonna look pretty much like this. So check this out. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna grab the whole code. I'm gonna create one page. I'm gonna call it losing page.dart. Got it. I'm gonna just paste that. It's pretty much the same thing. Believe me, it's gonna be the same thing almost. I'm gonna call it losing page. Of course, I'm just gonna be replace everything for losing page. Replace it all. Got it. It's gonna be stateful, blah blah blah. But instead it's gonna be losing like that. It's gonna have pretty much the same thing. It's gonna have a buttons animation controller. It's gonna have the buttons, but it's not gonna have these buttons. It's gonna have a yes, a no, and like a home or something. But for now, I'm just gonna keep 2 buttons. So it's gonna be 2 buttons. I'm gonna be using these buttons right here, the ones that look like see I have like button win, submit like this. I have button lose, yes, on, yes, off, button lose, no, no, off. Those are the ones that I'm gonna be using. So instead of here, I'm gonna say button lose. Yeah, what did I call them? Let me see. I call them button lose. Button lose, yes, off, button lose, yes, no. So button lose, yes, on, button lose, yes, off. And the yes should be first, not the no. So I'm gonna grab these, I'm gonna move them here, and this I'm gonna say no. Lose no on and lose no off. Remember I created this widget that just flips between 2 images, so it keeps it really simple. So let's do that. So you see, it's pretty much the same thing. The image is not gonna be this one. It's not the main background. It's one image that looks like this. I think I even call it lose background. So this one, lose background. So I'm gonna call it just that. So it's gonna be lose background. The frog is not gonna be that one. It's gonna be the logo for that theme. So I think I have like a losing logo or something like that. Let me see. I have the logo. So I have the Skipping Frog logo and I have this one. So this is Skipping Frog logo, but no, it's the like play again, lose. This is the one. Play again. So play again, lose. So I'm gonna add it here at the top. So it's the logo. So it's play again, lose. Play again. What do they call it? Let me go back again. So it's play again, lose that PNG. There you go. Play again, one single word, lose that PNG, which is kind of like the off version of that same play again thing. The frog is not that one, is the losing version. So you see I have the frog win. Let me show you. I have this one, right? Frog win, but then I have frog lose, which is this one. So I'm gonna add that one instead, but it's the same size. That's what I'm saying. It's pretty much the same thing. I copy pasted it, and this is gonna be frog lose like that. Same width, same amount of buttons, same animation. It's gonna be the same thing pretty much, guys. It's pretty much the same thing. Of course, I'm not gonna be doing this thing. I'm not gonna be doing this. Actually, I could have just kept it because I'm gonna reuse the utils.main now. But check this out. Now I'm going to redirect the user to that page when we're losing via what? The game service. So in the game service, I'm gonna do this. Look, I'm gonna say utils.mainNav current state, and then I'm gonna push a replacement for that one. So I'm gonna just replace the game page by pushing a new one. So I'm gonna say push replacement named, and then I'm gonna say losing page dot route, I think, right? And then it will be just the losing one. I need to add the navigation to that page in the main page. I'm gonna add the navigation right here. Remember, I have all my navigations in here, and I'm going to say losing page dot route losing page. Now let's take it for a spin. I know I've done a lot of coding, but trust me, this should work. I know Randall said one time, like, Roman writes a lot of code. It may look correct, but dude, when you do this a lot, you tend to, get it the first time. Sometimes, lucky me, sometimes I bomb completely. So, hey, this is like one-off. Check this out. So I'm going to do start. I'm going to swipe 3 times the wrong way. 2, 1. And then when I swipe the wrong way, remember what's going to happen. I'm going to decrement the lives to 0. Check if the game is over. That means check if the lives are at 0. Reset the messages and go to the losing page. Otherwise, just show me the splash. So check this out. All I'm going to do is redirect to that page. So I'm going to swipe one more time wrong so I can get to that page. So I'm going to swipe. And there it is. You see? I showed it right in front of you. I mean, just copy paste pretty much. But now that's what I wanted to do. When you lose, I wanted to get to this point. I want to say, you want to play again because you lost. So yes or no, now you can click. You see, you can click yes or no, and then you do that, right? Yes or no takes you to wherever you want to go. But I still need to wire them up correctly. But remember, it's still doing that. I don't want them to do that. You see that I went back? I went back, and then it was that page. Look, I'm swiping. You see, it's still wrong. So we need to reset some of those things. Point people in the right direction. Reset the game when the game is over. And then that way it looks much better. So let's continue. We are at 9:56. Just wanted to remind everybody, tweet with the hashtag Flutter Live Coding. I'm gonna run a raffle at the end of the session, and you can get the chance to win a cool Flutter t-shirt just like that. Everybody that I shipped it to, they've received it. Sirhan, you're looking really good, man, with that t-shirt. I know Juan Carlos got his Flutter t-shirt. I'm pretty sure that Dalian, he's gonna get it soon. So again, make sure to tweet wherever you are. We're gonna get you a Flutter t-shirt. Again, as a token of my appreciation. Let's continue. Make sure to tweet hashtag Flutter Live Coding. Let's do this. So let's continue. I'm going to now, remember I swipe 3 times the wrong way and I get to this play again kind of deal, right? So I want to now reset things correctly. I want to reset the game, restart the game from the beginning, make sure that I'm pushing the correct one, navigate to the correct place. So at this point, I'm good with what we have as far as like some of the game logic that checks whether did you lose? Take me to this page. Now I want to be able to say, now let's reset the game because I want to start all over and continue. If I say yes, it goes here, and when I say no, it just takes me here. But look, I don't have any lives again. I need to make sure to reset all those services instead of going all over the place. Remember what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do it through the game service. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. So let's just do that. So in the losing page, remember that I have like these buttons already hooked up, like with some weird stuff in here. So what I really want to do is invoke the game page in here and call the correct action. So whenever, of course, when I say, did you lose? Do you want to play again? What do you want to do? You want to reset the game. So I'm going to inject here the game service. I'm going to say game service, provider.of game service. Again, same drill. I'm gonna say context that listen to false because I don't wanna, rebuild it here. And all I'm gonna do is just remember that I created one method called reset game. So I'm gonna do it right here. Look, reset game. We're gonna get to that point now, but at least I wanted to stub it out so that I know kind of like the actions that are gonna happen. When you lose, you have yes or no. What do you want to do? You want to continue? You want to restart? You want to go to the beginning? That's what we're doing. If you don't want to continue, reset the game and let's go back to the home page. So instead of me saying push named something else, I really want to say, for example, go to the game page again. Go to the game page. But what you need to do is don't take into consideration that you've pushed this page. Because otherwise you're gonna get into like a loop, like a bunch of pages, the same instance of the page is gonna be added to the navigator stack. Instead, what you wanna do is also push a replacement so that you cannot go back to this one, to the losing page. So the way that you do it is, like I did before, push, and I know, Sirhan, you mentioned this one time, using the push name replacement. So I'm gonna say push name replacement, push replacement named, I'm sorry. And I'm just gonna say game page.route. So I'm gonna say go to the game page because I want to start the game all over. But at first I'm gonna reset the game. Otherwise, if I don't want to start the game, I'm done with this game. I'm going to restart. Also, of course, you want to reset it because you want to start from the beginning. But instead, I want to go back to the home page. How do you do that? Do you pop multiple times? Do you keep track of all those pages? No. There is a provision in the navigator stack that you can pop until you match one given route. So of course I'm gonna say game service.reset game, of course. I haven't implemented it yet, but we're gonna get there. But instead of me saying pop, 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 I don't know how many times I've pushed things in the navigator stack. The way that you do it is you have to say pop until. You can say pop until because pop until, what it does, it says, okay, so how many times do you want to pop? Pop until when? When it matches something in particular, yes, I want to match the home page. In this particular case, I think it's our landing page. So I want to say pop until you are in the home page, meaning you have to say route.settings. And then the settings is just a name. It has a property that contains information about the navigation, like metadata about the navigation. So the way that you say is settings.name equals, you have to match now the route that you want to pop it back all the way to. So in this case, I'm going to say skipping frog landing dot route. Just like that. Let me do a formatting so you guys can see it. So I'm going to do word wrap, and there it is. So check this out. When I say yes, I want to play again, I reset the game and I go back to the home page, to the game page, I'm sorry. But if I say no, I reset the game anyway, but I will pop it back out all the way to the home. Let's try this. Of course, we're not going to reset the game yet, but we're going to do the proper navigation. Check this out. Reload, right? We're going to reload. We're in the game, in the landing page. You start, you're in the game page. If you swipe 3 times wrong, you get to this page and then you say, do you want to play again? Yes. I don't want to have this page in the navigation stack anymore. If I say yes, I'm just going to push a replacement to this guy. If I do this, look, I'm back in the beginning. So you see that it's like the losing page never happened. So that is also, of course, we're going to take care of that so that people just don't go to the previous page like that. There's a trick that you can do so that you can prevent people from performing a navigation that wasn't intended. So let's do it again. So if you do start, swipe wrong. Well, actually, I need to restart it again because you see the lives haven't been reset yet. So we need to get to that point. Let's start the game. Swipe 3 times wrong. 1, 2, 3. I lose. I want to say yes, I go back to the game. But if no, we're going to be saying go back to the home page. So let me show how that works. So if I do Shift R to, again, restart the application, when I hit no, you will see that it will pop back out here. So if I say start, swipe 3 times wrong, I lose. No is going to take me to the home page. If I click no, pop it all the way to the home page, and look, there's nothing in the stack. Why? Because I popped them all the way until the route matched the landing page. So something like this you can implement so that you can prevent users from, or even preventing your navigator stack to be filled with stuff that you don't want. Let's continue. So now remember I said that I want to reset the game. So what would reset the game entail pretty much? So reset the game will entail the scores to be cleaned, the positions to restart, the leaves to be rebuilt, like all those things that are persisting state in memory, each one in their own state. You kind of have to restart all that. How do you do it? Well, the way that I would do it, that I'm going to show you right now, is, for example, every single method, every single service is going to have its own way to reset. So every service is going to have like a reset method pretty much. The game has a reset which actually notifies all the other services to go and reset themselves. As opposed to me going to each one separate one and reset it individually, I'm gonna do it like more streamlined. So I want to make sure that the game service is kind of like that broker, the one that actually performs the resetting on all the other services. So I've created a method, remember, called game. I think in the services, I created a method in the game service called reset game. So here is where I should be saying reset everybody, including myself, including the game service needs to reset. So check this out. So of course you need to reset the game from the beginning. You have to say reset game from the beginning. What would reset game from the beginning do? So the reset game from the beginning will reset the positioning. Actually, Actually, even these don't need to be here. So you see, I'm even refactoring as I'm seeing. The leaves, I definitely need to regenerate the leaves. So these dimensions don't need to be all the time here. So I'm gonna cut these out. They don't need to be here. They could just be at the beginning. You don't need them all the time. The leaves will always be the same size, regardless of, as many times as we initialize. So we're doing refactoring on the go. Initialize the services, we initialize the services, they don't need to be reinitialized. But reset from the beginning, yes, needs to reset all the leaves. The start position of the frog, I need to restart it because remember, it needs to be based on the first leaf. So it needs to be based on the first leaf. If I just regenerate my leaves, the first leaf will be different. So those are the things, the position of the frog needs to be changed. So those are the things that I'm going to be resetting in here. So I like the fact that I'm just coming up with stuff on the fly and making even better changes. So even good, perfect. So now that I have the reset game, so I know that I'm gonna do resetting on all of these services. Like I can have a method called reset services. For example, I can do, reset services. I can do something like this. And then right down here, I can have one method called, reset services. And then what I'll do instead is each one of these methods will have a reset method. So I'm doing it on their behalf, but they will have a very similar API that will clean up their internal data, the internal metadata. All their state is gonna be reset inside. That way, everything gets reset. When everything gets rebuilt and all the widgets get rehydrated, they will read the new values, and then they should be good. So, I need to fix this right here. So I'll say reset services. Did I mess it up down here? No. Okay. So I'll just say reset services, but you see, I haven't created those yet. So every single one of these services are gonna have like a reset type of method. So I'm gonna just create a method in each one of these. So I can just say, for example, here I can do, right here, look, I can just say create method reset. Right from here, in this one, I'm gonna say create method reset. I'm gonna create a method reset on each one of these, but then each one is gonna have their own implementation internally. So, but every method at least every service needs to be reset. So for example, the frog jumping service reset, what will this entail? So the resetting of this will be resetting the position to 0. It will be setting the current swipe direction to none. So it's pretty much just copying these things right here and adding it in the reset, because it's going to be pretty much like the beginning, like just resetting everything to 0, something like this, right? So I'm just going to say reset everything to the beginning. That is the reset part of the frog jumping service. So I'm going to say, frog, you start at the beginning. You reset yourself. The game service tells the frog service to reset itself, start all over, you reset yourself. So you see, I don't have to do it all over the place. I only do it in one spot. And look how simple it was. I was in the losing page. I just called reset game. Reset game calls reset services, and then from one spot, I do that propagation throughout the system so that all of them can reset themselves. Randall, you says, why not make all services that want to reset subscribe to our master apps? That is a good idea too. That's good. That's something that I could even do. Great suggestion, Randall. But I will do it then in the game service. Something happens in the game service, they reset themselves. I could also do them to listen to they subscribe to an event that I can do it. That's also another way to do it. And they can internally do reset themselves. That is a very good idea as well. So I can do, for example, even through the same, but what I don't want them to do is, I'm gonna have to use some sort of like subscription. I don't want to use the same type of like change notifier, because remember, if I use that, I'm actually triggering the widgets to rebuild. I don't want them to rebuild just for resetting unless they need to rebuild from the beginning and visually see it on the spot. But that is a very good suggestion. I could use some sort of like a pops up type of deal. I just send a message. Every subscribed service can just reset themselves. In this particular case, because I already have the references, I can just say, go reset themselves. But that's a good idea. I can definitely implement something like that. That's very good. Thank you for that suggestion. So after I do that, so of course I can, even if I do some sort of like a pub sub message subscription type of deal using like an observable or like some sort of a way to broadcast that change so that everybody resets, I still need to reset their values. So the frog jumping service just resets all those values. Let's do, for example, like which other services we said. So if I go back to let me see, the swiping gesture service. Yeah, this one needs to reset also. I created a reset method in here in the swiping gesture service. This one will entail pretty much resetting. Let me clean up my methods in here. Remove all the unused imports. I'll probably have to reset the direction, reset the leaf count. Those are the things that I will do. Let's say in the swiping gesture service, you need, if you want to reset that, like those are the things that I'm gonna do. So I don't need to reset the controller, but I need to reset the leaf count and the direction. So, but now that you mentioned that, Randall, I'm thinking more into doing that, like doing something more streamlined like that. Like just do a subscription. Everybody just listen to that change. Reset. Everybody reset yourself. You could do that. That's a great suggestion. And this one, I'm just gonna do that. So I'll do these. I'll leave these hooks in place. That way, I'll just do. Later, I could just do something like that. Broadcast a change. Everybody resets themselves. Very good idea. So now, for example, that is the resetting of the swiping gesture service. Now I'm gonna go back to my game service. What's the other resetting that I have? So I have the swiping, the leaf service. For example, it can reset itself. That would be pretty much just resetting the current leaf. See, it's the same thing. So it's just like, I'm gonna reset these values back to their original initial values pretty much. Like I don't need to do like for example, like really crazy stuff. Just resetting yourself, just be that. That's it. Then the last one that I have, what was it? The score panel service. Yeah, this is a doozy. Because this one is actually going to reset a bunch of things. I'm going to reset the lives back to 3, the bugs back to 0, the score back to 0, the gamer, all of this. I'm just going to move this. I'm just going to grab that. And later what I'm going to do is, when Randall, now you even gave me another idea. I can even do another init that I can say, initialize yourselves to something. But the resetting already will take care of pretty much initializing. So resetting is kind of like initializing those values as well. So great idea. And that's something that I would definitely recommend. If anybody here also doing it, you should do something like that. For now, I'm just keeping it really straightforward. I'm just gonna do it from one spot. All the other services, because I already have their references, so this should work. I've done that in production. Needed to reset a lot of things if the user logged in. Yes, that is a very good case. Doing like that type of broadcasting. You could do like a type of like a value notifier type of deal. What were you thinking? Okay, no, I was gonna think something like something that you can just trigger like a flag to say reset or whatever. Then everybody's just listening to that. It doesn't have to be precisely notified, but you can just subscribe to it. Very good idea. And for all of you watching, I definitely endorse that comment. Yes, great. So something like this, I'm gonna reset. You see, game resets, every service resets. So when I say reset game, now we should see everything back to like the beginning, which will look a little bit more streamlined. And I can just restart the game over. So check this out. Now if I reload, we get our splash screen, we get our, this thing. Let's start the game. Let's play. Let's play. Let's do a little simulation. So I'm gonna try to really get like as far as I can. You look at the time. The time is running. Lives are right. See, I missed one. Lives are at 3. Now lives are at 2. I missed one. I'm gonna go to my second breakpoint. Good. I'm in checkpoint number 1. Here we go. Let's continue. Let me go as fast as I can. 25 seconds on the clock. Let me continue swiping. I'm almost there. I am in checkpoint number 2. And then I'm going to swipe wrong. 1 life left. Oh, man, I lost. What do I do now? Do I restart the game? Do you want to play again? Sure. Let me play again. What would you expect at this point? Lives to be at 3. Score to be at 0. Time to be 0. And everything should be start back at normal, but back in the game page. So let's do it. So if I hit yes, there it is. Time starts at 0, bugs at 0, lives at 3, my guy starts at the beginning. So this is the way that you can do that. I would totally, of course, like Randall mentioned, like you can do that type of subscription. That would be then even a little cleaner, but at least here I just kept it very centralized. You saw that it wasn't like a convoluted code or something like really nasty or like a indecent implementation or something frowned upon. This is decent, but I would go for something like that, more elegant, more streamlined. Perfect. So you see, I'm good. I'll do the same thing. If I miss 3 times, look, I'm starting all over. Now this time I'm not going to go back to the game page. I'm saying I'm done with this game. I've had enough. Let me just go back to the beginning. If I say no, it takes me back to here. We assume that everything got reset the same way that I did when I said, yes, let me continue the game. If I hit start, everything should be at the beginning. And the time is messed up. So you see, I need to make sure that then I do proper resetting. Oh, see, I didn't reset this existing game timer, which actually needs to be stopped. Because that is the game timer. Instead of reassigning it, that is a very good thing that I did right there. I kind of did it on purpose, or no, I'm going to fix it right now, but pretty much that's what it is. You need to reset the time. Like pretty much cancel it and reset it as opposed to reassigning it, because then you're going to get into issues like that. Yeah, the score's not increasing. Yeah, I'm not doing the score yet, but Sirhan, great observation. I'm not doing the score yet. That is going to come in the next episode. But yes, score is not increasing. I'm going to do the score every time I collect one of these bugs, but I'm not doing it yet. But great observation anyway. Yes, the score, I'm going to do it next time, and that's what I'm going to be capturing. Capturing the score. For example, I'm going to capture 100 points and then one bug. The logic that I'm going to implement is every 5 bugs is going to be 1 life. Every 5 bugs, remember, every 5 bugs, 1 life to your count. That way you can keep playing. Collect bugs, and then those points get added to your points, pretty much. Got it. So instead of saying start time like this, I'm gonna say, remember, I'm going to the game timer, instead of initializing it like this, I have to say, for example, cancel. So if, for example, it hasn't been, I need to cancel the time, reset the time. So I can do, for example, something like game timer dot. For example, I'm already canceling it, so that's exactly what I'm doing. I only initialize it once. I should be just canceling it. And in this, for example, I could just say, if game is not, for example, like I'm only going to be using 1 timer. That way I use like more efficient resources in my application. That way I don't have to like creating a bunch of timers, going crazy all over the time. So you need to make sure that you do efficient use of your resources. Kind of like Damien mentioned earlier, like you wanna be able to like dispose of your controllers. You want to reuse some of those things. When you're using animations, use 1 controller if you can for all your animations. We've already proven it here and stuff like that. So great. I love the fact that in very short period of time, we did a lot of stuff at the moment. So what I'm going to do is, again, I know that you guys want to continue rocking, but I also have, I have consideration for all of you who stay pretty late. So I'm going to cut it short. We're going to keep it light for tonight because I not only have other commitments, but I just want to make sure to keep it decent to you guys. Last time we went like really far. Now this time we can cut it short. We're going to run the raffle. I'm going to give you 1 minute to all of you. We've also actually gone for an hour and 20 minutes. So yeah, Damien, thank you. Yes. And Sirhan, again, thank you so much for the observation. Randall, thank you for always your suggestions on point and always backed up with reasonable logic and great explanations. So thank you so much for always your colored comments to this session. So why don't you guys go ahead now and start tweeting for one last time. Tweet the hashtag Flutter Life Coding so I can run a raffle now, and I can you can get the chance to win one of these cool Flutter t-shirts. I appreciate everybody joining this session. Again, I'm trying to keep it short most of the time, again, to be conscious of everybody's time zones. And I know that you guys are even staying really late. Yes, that is the reason why I call it after hours, because it's really late, but I don't want to abuse of your generosity and your support. So 1 more minute so you can tweet with the hashtag Flutter Life Coding, so I can now run a raffle and so you can get one of these Flutter t-shirts. So why don't we do that? So again, I just wanted to open it up to everyone. Thank you so much for the suggestions. Great advice. I definitely implement a few of the things that you guys suggested, and definitely more to come. And definitely, I love these sessions, just interacting with you, getting your feedback, you accompanying me in this journey, and just building cool applications and building really cool stuff, pretty much. So awesome. Let's start now. I'm going to be wrapping it up. I'm going to be using my usual wheel of names to pull everybody that has tweeted with the hashtag Flutter Life Coding today. Remember, the ones from last time don't count. You have to have done it throughout the session, otherwise it doesn't count. And also I say, it'd be good if you're here, that'd be great. So let me import the users with the hashtag Flutter Live Coding. I hope you have spelled it correctly. So let's try it now. So I'm going to do that. And there you go. We have a decent crowd, except for me, I don't count. I already have all these t-shirts already. So good luck to everybody. Thank you so much again for joining. I had a blast. We did refactoring. We did a lot of code. Took suggestions from the audience. Definitely gave props to whoever deserved it. And just wanted to say thank you for accompanying one more day. Episode number 7 is done. Next week, let's see if I can, even accelerate a lot more. I know you want to see maybe newer things in this application, so I'll try to do that. I'll probably just move it forward a little more and get to other things so that keep it fresh, keep this content fresh. So good luck to everybody. You've just entered a raffle to win a Flutter t-shirt. We're gonna ship it right to you. Again, some of you have already received it. I guarantee it, you have. But this time, again, it's time for one more person. Good luck to everybody. Let me spin the wheel. And let's do that. Good luck, everybody. Oh, Damien. I know you're like, oh, man. I don't know, man. This is the wheel of names. I don't know, man. Who's this? CH Morales, are you here? Can you say something in the chat? Are you here? And Damien, you might think that, yeah, this wheel of name is rigged against you. But, I mean, come on, buddy. CH Morales, you got a t-shirt, buddy. Whoever you are, again, you got a t-shirt. Thank you so much for tweeting Flutter Live Coding. Tonight, I'm going to ship you your t-shirt. Make sure to send me a tweet. Make sure you're following me so that I can talk to you through Twitter, and then I can ship your t-shirt. So you're gonna give me all the different. Oh, Christian, awesome. Oh, come on, you're my buddy, man. How you doing, buddy? Thank you so much, Christian. You got a t-shirt. Let me ship it to you. Send me your information. So thank you so much, guys. Again, this is the application that we've been building. Not gone yet. Not done yet. Just wanted to say thank you so much, everybody. See you next time. Like every Wednesday, we're going to be doing live coding after hours, Flutter edition. My name is Roman, Flutter GDE. Thank you so much. See you on the next one. Take care.